When President Trump sat down with Joe Rogan for a 3-hour discussion, I truly wonder if they knew it was going to be 3 hours. Rogan has enough weight and power and footprint to say, hey, we don't put time limits on this. You know, can you plan to be here for 4 or 5 hours? And Trump has the footprint and the gravitas and the power to say, nope, you know, let's cap it at 2 hours. He couldn't do that, though, because Rogan has this reputation of, hey, the conversation's over when it's over. And it's a wonderful format in that regard. And God uses the simple things to shame the wise. I'm not saying that Joe Rogan is a simple man. I don't know that to be the case. I think he's actually a smart guy. I mean, you don't rise to that level without being a really, really smart guy. You don't achieve the success he has in other arenas without being smart and committed. I'm talking about his physique and his other businesses. So clearly there's some brain power there. But he's also, what, a comedian. But he saw the things about Trump that other people couldn't see, and he says it in a very simple sense. You came out and said wild blank, and people were tired of the prepackaged blank. That's why you got attention. That's why you got ahead. Right. But then he backed it up. Joe Rogan asked President Trump about vote fraud and that problem. And to the YouTube censors, it's your platform and it's your rules. I'm simply saying I'm quoting a conversation between Rogan, who's a big leaguer on your platform, and President Trump, who's a big leaguer globally. We're just going to talk about this. We'll do this with the help of a company that helps us, or at least helps me, get back in the game. Now, for me, the game is CrossFit. It's fitness at all sorts of levels that I try to achieve at this age of 57. And for me, it's been an ankle that I could not have gone to SealFit with my ankle the way it was. I mean, I didn't get the physical results I wanted out of SealFit. I got pulled after 12 hours medically, and I couldn't have gone with what my heel was doing in my ankle. I went down and got 12 million stem cells in my ankle that came from umbilical cords and placentas, period. The strain of stem cells I use in Puerto Vallarta at Renew.Healthcare have never been exposed to the modified RNA injections, because these stem cells were gathered before the mRNA existed. When they put that into my ankle, I got to admit, that was the first time I had any pain. Dr. Chavez, who is a Harvard certified surgeon, said, hey, just because of where I'm injecting this, you're going to experience some pain tomorrow. And there's going to be an area, this is a very small area, so there's a lot of fluid going in here. This will go away about 1 day afterwards. He was right. The inflammation was gone. The pain was gone. Now, that's not as dramatic as my shoulder. I got my shoulder movement in push-ups and pull-ups back in 11 weeks versus 48 weeks with my other shoulder. So this is just working out, though. There are people who can't live life the way they need to. People who've been in wheelchairs and have gone to Renew. Hey, my doctor said I'm in the wheelchair for the rest of my life. The Renew team looked at their condition and said, we don't think so. We think, first of all, these stem cells will destroy the inflammation in your body that's causing a lot of this. And we know that these stem cells have the power to rebuild muscle, tendon, cartilage, right? They can do that. People like that have walked out of Renew after their traditional doctors. This woman in Canada said, oh, there's no hope. There is hope. Go to renew.healthcare. It's RENUE.healthcare. Elevate your quality of life by elevating yourself to actual healthcare versus medicine and surgery. Renew.healthcare. Joe Rogan and President Trump talking about vote fraud.
What can be done to mitigate these problems? What could be done at the level that the president has power?
Well, if I win, this will be my last election. But I think I owe it to the country. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I owe it to the country. We have to have fair elections.
So how can you fix that?
You know, Jimmy Carter was in charge of a commission, that many years ago. And they put him and Scoop Jackson and various senators, distinguished people that were retired. And they came up with a report. And the report's primary finding was you cannot have mail-in ballots. Because if it's a mail-in ballot, I went to the voting booth the last time, whatever it was, and I walked in Palm Beach, and I walk in, and they know me. They say, Mr. President, could I see your identification? Yes, boom, here's this, here's that, everything. And then you sit and they watch you sign, and there's not a lot you can do. I mean, if you wanted to be dishonest, it's sort of beautiful.
Right.
If instead of that, I'm going to send them a ballot.
Right.
It has to go through the postal services. It has to go through a lot of people. They mail you houses that, the house was demolished and the people have left, and it's so bad. The one thing with Jimmy Carter, he had a very strong commission. It was no mail-in ballots. And we're the only one that does elections this way anymore. They've gotten away from them.
And this is it ticked up in a big way after COVID. It used to be like soldiers serving overseas.
They use COVID to cheat.
Yeah. Well, they use COVID to certainly push this mail-in ballot. Another thing
but they use COVID to cheat.
You can, and I'll do this because I know this is going to end up on YouTube, and we'll have a long conversation about this on Substack, how President Trump could answer this question, because it is completely answerable. So that will be on Substack for Monday. Right, Alex? No, Tuesday. It'll be on for Tuesday. And we'll have a long conversation about this. Here's the facts. And I'll do this in a way that is YouTube safe. I hope. Every step in a process is an opportunity for error. The more steps, the more opportunity to slip up. The more complex those steps, the more likely you're going to slip up. For instance, there's a step ladder in your kitchen. You're going to step up on it, you're going to grab a spice, you're going to get down. Okay, fair enough. Now it's a ladder with 5 rungs. Okay, it's 5 times the opportunity to screw up, but it's just a ladder in your kitchen. Now it's a ladder with 15 rungs in your backyard going up to change a big light, floodlight or something. Okay, now it's getting serious. Now it's that same ladder, and it is an important light, and it's during a snowstorm. And the ladder is wet, and it's icy out. Oh, plus there's an exposed wire. Every time the complexity increases, the danger increases. Anytime you look at a system and there's needless complexity, that is a tool of scoundrels, because needless complexity is also a way to hide fraud. Every time there's an opportunity for someone to commit fraud, there will be people who want to commit that fraud. Reduce the steps. Ensure that you have the very simple baseline data. The baseline data for elections is this: who votes? If you don't have the baseline data on who votes, you don't have any capacity to figure out if the election was honest. I know we have private ballots, praise God. But we do not have the baseline data on who actually did the voting. Until that's fixed, you have complexity, opportunities for screw-ups, and needless complexity, which is the tool of scoundrels.